Hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review of Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 4, Episode 8, called The Harder They Fall. So we start off with Suki. She's talking with her friends and her cousin, I believe, talking about her court date coming up and her relations going on with Mr. Kill Bill. I forgot what she said at the end of the episode, but I'll probably bring it up later. So pretty much she thinks arguing is healthy. And I'm just like, what type of argument we talking about? It's one thing if you having disagreements or discussions, but arguing the way you guys was arguing in that nice ass Bentley last week, I don't know about all that. But they're gonna go to marriage counseling to figure things out, work things out. So I guess that's a good step for something, because she even brings up the ring don't mean nothing. It's all about how she gets treated. And yes, I agree with that, Suki, but also think about how you treat him too. Not saying anyone has, I mean, it's Suki and Kill Bill. Okay. But her lawyer calls her and tells her, he went to the court, and pretty much worst case scenario, she could be facing up to a year in jail. Suki is kind of like annoyed because she's just like, for defending myself, I could be facing jail time. And I'm just like, well, that's just worst case scenario, Suki. I understand that's still something you have to be concerned about. But at the same time, if it was in defense and on your property, you probably won't get away with it. Ain't like you killed the girl or nothing. You just beat her ass. But we move on to Trick. He's in the studio with his son Jaden. Jaden's performing a song, and I'm just like, I like how in the Love and Hip Hop Miami, we're seeing a lot of people in the studio and doing their thing in the studio, as opposed to this past season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where we only saw maybe a one or two scenes of people in the studio like Amaretta. So I do like that they're kind of in the Love and Hip Hop Miami more gearing towards the Love and Hip Hop part of being in the studio and whatnots. And as far as Trick, I don't think I've seen him in the studio since like the first season. So that's pretty cool. Once again, when like Jaden's on the mic, like when people are on the mic, it doesn't really sound good. But once they put the rap and the whatnots with the music, it sounds good. So he sounded good. Nori comes to visit them, and he likes Jaden's song, but he did mention the confessional as far as his kids go. That's the last thing he wants them to do, just because of how hard it is in the industry. And even him and Trick was talking about being in the industry, it's a lot of hard work and sacrifice. Not these covers on kids doing covers on YouTube tracks. It's actually hard work to get from starting from nothing to being something. And that's when Nori starts saying, yeah, for him, he had to sacrifice a lot. And this is like the first holiday coming up in like 6 years that he has the time to actually spend time with his kids for the holidays. Because before it was just like he watches them open the gifts and he goes do what he has to do. So he's happy about that. But at the same time, he wants another kid. And even, me and Trick were just like, nigga, you want another kid? Don't you got like 6 kids now? Like, Trick didn't say that, but I thought that. But Nori, he's like, since he had to sacrifice so much time with his kids and not being there for them, he missed out on a lot of the growing up part, because now they're like teenagers and stuff. So he wants to go through the phases of changing diapers, probably have their first steps and so forth. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot to that, Nori, and we're gonna get to that later when he talking with his wife. But Trick mentions that he's gonna be doing a performance for the weigh-ins for Floyd, having his fight with Logan Dan Paul, and invites Nori. Nori says, okay, he'll be there. Jaden said he down to go, so all is well, all is good. Move on to Trina. She not all well and all good. So supposedly her and Raymond are supposed to have a spa day, and she's gets to the spa place, I guess, before Raymond does. Gets in the elevator, is like claustrophobic, I guess probably has a low key of a panic attack, and she faints on the elevator. And Bobby calls her because he heard about it. I guess he's concerned. And Raymond shows up. I guess they briefed Raymond before he went to go see Trina that she fainted in the elevator. So Raymond's concerned, obviously. Bobby's concerned, obviously. Everybody's concerned. And because she's starting to overwork herself at this point. And Trina's just like, I'm not a person that can just sit down, do nothing. I gotta go. She's an Energizer bunny at this point. And I'm just like, Trina, you're getting older. She's what, in her early 40s at this point. You can't do stuff like you used to do. Okay, I understand she got to do what she got to do to get her bread and money, but you doing all these shows, you doing all these photo shoots. You got a versus coming up, what, even a week at this point from the time of the filming, and I'm pretty sure she has not had a time for a breather. And honestly, her and Trick being fired from the radio show might be a blessing in disguise, because this will probably give Trina more time to just do what she needs to do to relieve herself of probably all the PTSD, all the traumatic experience she had with, in her personal life with her family and friends, I'm sure. Trina, you need a break, girl. Like, you could do what you need to do, but at the same time, you gonna have to do a break. Not necessarily a hiatus, but you're doing a little too much to this point. You're gonna run yourself to the ground, and that's concerning, Trina. We don't want you to do that. Trina said she's gonna keep pushing, but I'm like, girl, keep pushing, but don't push to the point you gonna be 6 feet under because you overworked yourself to death. Please. So we get to Shayla. Shayla and Ace, but she don't want to be called Shayla and Ace because she don't want to be connected to Ace no more. She gets back from her trip for Orlando, so she sits down with Ace so they could talk about everything that's been going on. Ace admits that everything is good, but when the cameras and the mics turn on, it's kind of like a different scenario because he gets not like it's not like he puts on a front, but he kind of acts different. He gets kind of nervous. He doesn't say that, but I'm taking it as he getting kind of nervous, when the camera and mic is on. And I'm just like, yeah, he probably just, because it's reality TV. This is probably his first reality TV show, and it's not for everybody. Definitely not for me. So I can only imagine he can perform on TV with the mic on and cameras on, but as far as reality about his life and everything he got going on, it's probably, kind of weird for him. And Shayla admits, like, yeah, when you're on camera, when the camera's on and the mic is on, you're acting like Ace Hood. But I want the Antoine that's off the camera. And Ace wants to do better, but he just doesn't know if he has the capacity to be better, or how to be, to work to be better. Shayla's just like, you can do it, you just gotta work through some things and just be more open. And pretty much they make up, but since it's the only time we see them in the whole episode, I'm just gonna say, Ace, just stop being too much in your head. I'm pretty sure the Antoine you is good as the Ace Hood. We want to get to know the Antoine, okay? Ace Hood, we already know how he is. People go to the concerts and stuff. I don't go to concerts, especially now right now with COVID, super spreader event. But people want to know the Antoine. We want to get to know the Antoine. Why Shayla fell in love with you and all that stuff. And you seem like a good dude. Okay, so that's who we want to see. We don't want to see Ace Hood. Okay, we already see that on YouTube with all the concert flicks, clips that people put on. So you'll be fine. This is your first season, so we gonna cut you some slack because we like you. Okay, America likes you. I think I can speak for America to say we like you. And Shayla, she don't want to be attached to his name. She just wants to be her own person. But I'm like, Shayla, you married to the guy, so like to the day you die, and even after you die, you still gonna be kind of attached to the nigga because y'all married, and hopefully you guys have kids, so you gonna be attached to him for all your life. Then it's gonna be the Asian Shayla show. I understand what she's saying though. I get what she's trying to say. She wants to be her own independent person. With the whole social media, she got the whole woman empowerment thing. I get that. I understand that. But unfortunately, you always gonna be attached to this nigga. At this point, you guys are married. Like, you guys married at this point. You legally attached to this nigga. It's gonna be showing up on Wikipedia and Google. Ace Hood married to Shayla such and such, whatever his last name is. From this time to this time, if you guys were to get divorced, but hopefully you don't. I'm just saying you're gonna be attached to the nigga forever. At this point, but I understand that you still want to be your own person. Unfortunately, though. That's one of the cons or pros, depending who you ask, of being with a celebrity. So good luck to you guys. Moving on. We get to Tanari and Nori. Nori showing him shirts from the Juicy bar that she has made up. It looks kind of cute. Look kind of basic to me, but cute at the same time. And she asks Nori if he can wear the shirt for her on his podcast. So he agrees. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, Nori. I appreciate that willing to help your wife, because sometimes it be seeming like you don't support the Juicy Bar at all. So she gets into the whole schedule. She's like, "Can you pick up the kids on this day?" He's like, "No, I got the podcast. I got the show on that day." She's like, "Okay, can you do this day then?" He's like, "No, I got whiskey tasting on that day." And she's just like, "Well, damn, nigga, like, you can't help me for shit." So then he brings up having another kid. Again, this is like the second out of third time this whole episode he brings it up. She's just like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you. There, yes." She peep what we peep. Well, she married to the guy. Of course, she peep what we peep. But she's like, "No, they got. Listen, Nori got so much shit going on. She got so much shit going on. They got kids together that got so much shit going on. Everybody got something to do in the house at this point." So she just asked him, like, "Why the hell you want another kid right now?" She's like, she got the business and stuff. He's just like, "Well, technically you can build a business anytime, anywhere, any place, anyhow, today or tomorrow. But as far as the kid, it's you got a limited time before you can't have kids no more." Which is kind of true, Nori, but at the same time, people be having kids in their 40s and 50s nowadays. I don't know how old Neri is, but technically she could freeze eggs and all that stuff. This, all right, but okay. He traditional, old school, whatever. So she talks in the confessional. She tells him too, but more goes in depth in the confessional, that he just trying to control her. Why you want a kid now, even though you got kids that you don't even be there for, really? You don't really take care of the kids you got now. Like, you need to focus on the kids you got now, nigga, instead of thinking about, filling up my womb with a whole nother seed. And she tells him that. And he's just like, he wants to experience life with the kids, with a brand new baby, changing their diapers and stuff. And she's just like, you always got stuff to do yourself. He's like, well, because the Drink Champs, and his podcast and all that other stuff he got going on, it's more, it keeps him stationed. It's stationed now. He don't got to go here and there or whatever. So he could be at home with the baby while she at the juice bar. And I'm like, it's nice that you think it's so easy like that, Nori, but it's really not. Kids is a whole nother ballgame, and it clearly shows you not really there for the kids from when they was born to now, because it seemed like you don't know how hard it is to have a kid. That's why when people be talking about make sure you really want a kid and you're going to be there for that kid before you have a kid, that's crucial advice. That's crucial something to think about. It's not only just about the money, making sure they're provided for financially, but are you physically there for them? Because yes, we in a pandemic right now, but what about when things open back up and you have to be back on the road? Now you're going to leave Neri with a whole nother kid to raise? And he better not even bring up, the kids can help. The older kids can. That's not their responsibility. That's you and Neri's responsibility if you guys were to bring another kid into this world. And Neri seemed like she don't want to do all that no more. She already did that with all the other kids. Like, she probably got PTSD from dealing with that while you was on the road before. No, nigga, no. So I'm glad she brought up, all that issues to him, and he seems like he still want a kid. So we're gonna have to see. But I think you should just hang up the mic, bro, at this point, as far as kids go. And just focus on the kids you have now, like she said. Like, come on, how those kids gonna feel? Like, oh, okay, especially watching this back. Okay, so you just want a whole nother kid to do everything with, instead of just taking that extra time that you have already to just spend time with us, instead of always hanging out with your boys. What about your wife and your kids? Moving on, we get to Bobby going somewhere, sitting down. I guess he went on Joyce to call Trina to check up on her to see how she's doing. And pretty much she's overworking herself, as we talked about already. And Bobby's concerned, as we talked about already. And Joy comes to sit down and talk with Bobby. So he explains to her about what's been going on with Trina. I guess Joy didn't know that Trina fainted in the elevator. I would have assumed that Trina would have told her by now, but I guess Joy didn't know. And Bobby's concern is he doesn't think Trina has truly grieved the loss of her mother, which we already talked about. She got a lot of stuff going on personally that she's probably overworking herself to compensate the fact that so she doesn't have to be alone to think about those things, which is like, in the end, you're just gonna work yourself to a grave. But I guess maybe the real reason he got Joyce to sit down with him is because he's conflicted about his father possibly getting out of jail. He doesn't know how to feel about it. And he doesn't want to tell Trina because Trina doesn't like her father's side of the family because, Bobby is Trina's cousin through Trina's father. So his father and Trina's dad are brothers. So I guess her whole daddy's side of the family, she don't fuck with like that. Don't know why. I don't know if in the past seasons if they ever went into depth with that. But like I said, that's a whole nother thing too. Trina got a lot of issues going on. She really needs to talk to somebody. But he doesn't want to tell her. He gonna meet up with her brother Snoop to discuss further, and we're gonna get to that when we get to it. So we move on to Trick and his little snippet at the Floyd Mayweather weigh-in, and Trick is just going on and on that he knows Floyd's gonna win, but he admits that if money was on the table, he would go on a stage in the ring with not with Trick. Trick would go in the ring with Floyd to get beat up for some money too. So he could understand Logan Paul's point of view. I don't remember who won. I think no one really won. Okay. But Drake performs in front of the crowd. The crowd is lackluster. Lackluster rich folks. And, even though they were lackluster, in Trick's words actually, he did his thing. That's where we end off with Trick. Move back on to Bobby. He and Snoop are playing pool or whatever, or he goes to Snoop who's playing pool. And Snoop just explains through a legislation law or whatever that they might pass, people who have petty charges are able to get out. And I guess his Bobby's father has like petty theft charges and whatnot, so he has the possibility of getting out of jail. All Bobby has to do is get a lawyer to fight that, and his father could get out of jail. Bobby's just like, I don't know about that. I'm the breadwinner of my family at this point in time, but he's just conflicted. He's like, all this shit that he's did to me and my mom, I don't know how I feel about bailing him out of jail, so to speak. He cries, and we find out his father wrote him a letter like 4 months ago, but it's sitting at his aunt's house, and he wants to read the letter first before he decides on what to do. I can't really give a thought and opinion on that because I haven't been through that personally. All I can say is it's up to you what you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your time, and it's your own father. I don't know what I would do. I really don't. So I can't really, we here to support you, Bobby, with whatever choice you decide. I'm a petty person myself, so I don't see me doing that, but I'm not in that situation, so I don't know. We move on to Nori going whiskey tasting with his friends. Like I said, we see him doing all these things with damn friends. What about you? You don't want to go do nothing with your wife or your kids? I digress. So he's whiskey tasting with his friends. Goes through a whole spiel about Japanese whiskey and figuring out where it's at, but it's literally behind his head. Okay, cool. And he brings up to his friends he wants another kid. He brought this up for the whole damn episode at this point. And one of his friends says, but are you willing to give up this, which is like the alcohol? And he said he's willing to stop drinking, like to slow down on drinking, not really stop, because, the drinking is what gets him paid. Drinking is helping him get money. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's necessarily the drinking, but maybe it helps. I don't know, because it keeps you calm when you're doing the podcast and stuff. I don't know, but whatever. Okay. Maybe he gets paid, because I never watched Drink Champs, but maybe he gets paid to promote the alcohol or something. I don't know. And pretty much his friends are clowning him, because they already know he's drunk. And they're just like, oh, we'll give you 5 days tops. He thinks he could do 30 days. And I'm just like, nigga, no, probably not 30 days. How hard are you willing to have this kid? First off, listen, I don't know Nori like that. I don't know his wife like that. But I feel like the way he could get in his wife's pants to make her want to have a baby is if you start being there for your own damn kids and start showing her some more love and just spending more quality time with your damn family instead of your damn friends while all this drinking and cigar smoking and stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with hanging out with your friends. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you can't be just like, oh, I'm going to always do stuff with the boys from what it shows on the TV, from what the producers are showing us, from whatever they edit. But it seems like you're showing more attention to your boys than you do your own family. Like you said, this is going to be the first holiday season with your family stationed without having to go do something. But yet, all we see is you with your friends and only snippets of you with your wife. Come on now. Anywho, that's all for him in this episode. We move on to Bobby, Snoop. They go visit their aunt to read the letter his dad wrote him. Side note, did y'all see Snoop on the couch? Like, just chilling before they got into the reading the letter. He just chilling on the couch next to the aunt. He just looking into space. He just like the stickness. I'm like, Snoop, what is you doing, Dad? What is that? What you doing, homie? I'm like, all right, Snoop, whatever. So pretty much Bobby just wants his daddy to apologize for all the things he's done all the things his dad done to him and his mom. Because even back when he was talking with Snoop at the pool table, they was looking through all the charges and he was just like, see, he did that when I was 3. He did that when I was 6. He did that when I was like 1. So you can't say you did all of this, to help us out, to help out the family. You did this for yourself. So like I said, Bobby's still conflicted. He doesn't know how to feel. But he reads the letter and I guess the dad says, Bobby can tell him whatever he wants. He doesn't have to feel like, he doesn't feel like Bobby has to hide. And Bobby appreciates that his father accepts him. But the reason why he never told his dad he was gay, he never came out to his dad, was because he didn't feel like he was his dad. So he's like, why am I going to tell you something? Like, we ain't close, nigga. Like, you blood, technically, but you biologically my dad, but you ain't my father. So I don't got to tell you shit. We don't talk. You don't, you be doing whatever you want, so I'm going to do whatever I want. Fuck you and your feelings. That's not what he said. I'm just paraphrasing. So he just never felt like he had to came out to his dad because he was never close to that point of him feeling he needs to have that conversation with his dad. But pretty much his dad loves him and his dad just wants to know, are we still in this together? Are we still a family, or should I just leave you alone? So I guess that's what Bobby had Bobby feeling like, well, I would be very upset if I found out my father passed behind bars knowing that I could have done something to get him out. So Snoop wants his dad out because, that's family. And I believe his aunt feels the same way. His aunt says, well, you can have that conversation with him because you're going to talk to him again because obviously he's going to reach out again and whatnot. So it seems like Bobby's leaning more towards he's going to do what he can to get his dad out. So I guess we'll see if that happens. Once again, that's up to Bobby's decision. I can't put an opinion on that because I can understand how Bobby feels, But as for me, I don't know. Because I'm a nice person. I'm a generous person. But at the same time, I'm getting to a point in my life where it's just like, listen, if I can't, not so bite my tongue, but listen, if you was in my life, I ain't going to act like, we all cool and stuff. Like, if anything, because I'm a nice person, I'd probably get you out, but listen, we could just keep it cordial. I ain't gonna be like Amara Negra, inviting you to stay in my house and stuff. Especially you went to jail for theft, nigga. Listen, we don't even know each other like that. We just blood at this point. So, yeah, you're gonna have to stay over there. You're gonna have to find your own place. I just got you out of jail. I'll probably get you a little shack or something, whatever, like a little nice apartment or something. But I don't know how Bobby's funds is, but he making money. He making bank. But he better than me. So we move on to Kill Bill and Suki. Okay, they go to the marriage counseling at somebody's house, at the pastor's house. Got the welcome sign in the front, but it's a damn house. They go to marriage counseling. The pastor talking all calm like this for like the whole scene. Just calm, cool, collected. Even though Suki's on 10 for the whole rest of the episode, but the pastor just talking like this, calm, cool, collected. Okay. The first question the pastor asks them is, how's the relationship with God? Kill Bill says wonderful. He says good, it's wonderful. And he said, even Suki was like, you can't have a relationship without God. God has to be the top and in the middle and all that. And Kill Bill says he loves Suki. And Suki's just like, oh, okay, you love me, but you just call me bitches in the car. And then the pastor, he's just like, oh no, Kill Bill, that's not right. You don't do that. You don't call her that. You don't call her that, man. And I'm sorry, guys. So, what I leave off at? He's like, he's just like, you don't do that. And Suki, just like I said, Suki's on 10. So she just goes on like, oh, my friends and family, they already told me not to fuck with him and stuff. Like, he ain't all that. Like, he be doing this and that. And don't fuck with Kill Bill. Like, why you hanging out with that nigga? But she does agree that he does show her love and show the kids love and all that stuff. But before she goes back on 10. So then Kill Bill said he's trying to work on himself. And Sylvia's like, oh man, nigga, what? I ain't trying to hear what none of you trying to say. The pastor then asks, what makes them lose trust with one another? So Suki lets us know that Kill be going to the massage parlor. And I'm just like, but Suki, isn't she like right here? She can't do the things that you be going to massage parlor for. And even the pastor like, oh, I didn't know who was gonna talk about adultery, infidelity and stuff. Kill, what you doing? Listen, I think I only learned about a massage parlor a few years ago, and that's only because my husband told me. I knew what a massage parlor was, but I didn't know in depth what they did. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Kill, what you doing in the massage parlor, bro? Because even so, he's like, oh, he talking about his back hurt. Your back hurt, huh? So, yeah, Kill Bill, what you doing in the massage parlor, bro? What you doing over there? She goes into saying he watches porn every day too. And I'm just like, okay, well, everybody watches porn. Suki, why don't you watch porn with him? Y'all already do the OnlyFans thing. So you watch it with him, so I don't know why she brought that up. But Kill Bill, this whole time, you're looking at her shocked like, you bringing this up right now, girl? Because this one goes to dramatic commercial effect. It goes to a commercial for dramatic effect, but then it comes back and Suki's still going, she's still on 10 going off like, oh, this nigga don't even pray over his food. I'm the one who taught him how to pray. You want a cookie, Suki, for that? Like, good. Now he knows how to pray. Suki is just on 10, so she just going off at the mouth. Bass is still calm. Kill's just like, man, I don't even know. And Suki's just like, I'm always going to stand up for myself. That's what we taught in my family. As the women in our family, we always been taught to stand up for ourselves. And I'm just like, okay, good, girl, but standing up for yourself for what? Like, he not even coming at you. You just on 10 for what reason? I don't know. What are you trying to show the world, Suki? We already know you stand up for yourself. We seen that when you beat the bitch's ass and went to jail, girl, that you in a court waiting to hear what your verdict is. Calm down. Okay? You see the pastor talking like this. You see Kills just sitting silent. What you on 10 for her, girl? Did y'all come to the thing together? So what made you like, come on, relax. So the pastor then asks, are they ready for marriage? Kill, the way Suki was acting, Kill was just like, hell no. Suki said she never wanted to get married to Kill Bill and calls him Kill Bill in the streets. And that's where the pastor prays for them, and that's where the episode ends. But my thing is here. Suki, you said you never wanted to get married to him, but you accepted the ring. You accepted the marriage. You guys did freaking engaged photo shoot, for goodness sakes, talking about having kids right now. So she just talking smack out the left side of her mouth because she's upset, which I understand. But at the same time, to the point of you saying, I never wanted to marry this nigga anyway. You lying. Girl, you lying. Stop it. Get out my face. Get out my face. As Blondie says with all that mess. So that's where the episode ends. These people crazy. I can't say more on Suki and her little boo thing. Which they probably, well, they're not together from what I've seen on the Shade Room. But I don't know. How many more episodes of this this damn season. I don't know. That's where it ends, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the love and the support. And I will see you next week with the next episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Bye, guys.